Hey everybody, Blaine Austin here, Sewing Machines Plus. Welcome to our second show of 2021, and we're so happy y'all joined us today. And it is Thursday, and it's 11 a.m. Pacific time, and it's 1 p.m. Central time. So good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you're at. And hey, we got a great show for y'all today, and we're super excited. We got Nathan Erznoznik. It's always hard to say. Nathan's going to be here. He's from Grace with a brand new product that we're going to launch for y'all today and tell you all about this new product. We're super excited about that. But first, I've got to tell y'all a little bit about our event that we've been planning. So everybody knows we talked about this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and we've been talking quite a bit about it, but we have the Virtual Quilt Fest coming up, and it is going to be in March 15th through March 20th. So it's going to be 6 days, and we're going to stream 7.5 hours for 6 days. So it's going to be a marathon event. We're super pumped about this event too. And what's going to make this unique? You know, a lot of people this year, you know, because of the pandemic, you can't get out and go to events and different things. So, you know, we're going to try to do it just like a quilt show you would go to. So basically, we're going to have some educational type things. And then you're going to be able to kind of like if you're walking around the quilt show and see different products and different manufacturers, we're going to have that basically on streaming it live to you. So it's going to be a very unique event. Some of the things we've kind of done similar things like this before, but this event's going to be really unique. And one of the things, nobody else in the country is doing anything quite like we're doing. They're trying to, but not quite like this. But one of the great things is one of you, the viewers, are going to be able to win the Dream Studio giveaway. And this thing is huge. It's going to be about $50,000 worth of product. So don't enter if you don't want to win, because you're going to have plenty of room. Either you're going to have to go get a chainsaw, sledgehammer, and make your room bigger or something. But we're going to give you an outfit of a whole room, and I'm talking like a long arm quilting machine, an embroidery machine, sewing machines, sergers, scan and cut, sewing cabinets, cutting tables, just everything. We're going to outfit this room for you. And so again, if you don't have room, you probably don't want to enter it unless you're just going to have you a big yard sale, because it's going to be a lot of product. But that's going to be one lucky winner is going to win that, one viewer. And then we're having our quilt contest. So if y'all know anybody out there who loves to quilt, hey, get them to enter this contest. You know, share this, our Facebook page. Hey, if you see where we're advertising that on the page, share that link to some of your friends that are quilters. And we're also looking for youth quilters. Anybody under the age of 17, we're having a contest for them. The top 3 people are going to win a $1,000 sewing package. And we're going to have 2 divisions of the adult entry. We're going to have a People's Choice Award where y'all can go vote on these. Your favorite quilt. We're going to have it. They're entering now. We started taking submissions on the 15th, and it's going to go all the way through February 14th. And then on February 15th, we're going to open it up for voting. So you'll have 1 month to vote, and you can go vote on the favorite quilt you like. And here's the great thing about it. We're going to have a People's Choice Award. So for the adult entry, anybody, you know, if they win the People's Choice Award, it's going to be a $7,000 quilting package they're going to win. And we're going to have a judges, celebrity judges category where they're going to pick their winner. And that winner is also going to win a $7,000 quilting package. So a great prize package. We just can't wait. And we have the who's who of sewing celebrities or quilting celebrities going to be here. And I mean, Eleanor Burns is going to be one of our judges. Do I need to say more? I mean, it is unbelievable. Eleanor's going to be here. We have Edita Centaur going to be here. We have Camille Rose Kelly going to be here. We have Melinda Beulah going to be here. And then I think it's Karen K. Buckley. So 5 celebrity judges. What a great lineup of people. And it's going to be so much fun. They're going to be on the show. They're going to share some of their tips and tricks about quilting and what they look for and different things. So we can't wait for this. And then education-wise, we're going to have some of the best demonstrators in the country going to be on here, and educators talking about their products and how to use them. So a great lineup of things to do. But make sure y'all are sharing this with your friends. Go share that advertisement, share the page, because we need to get as many people to enter this as we can, because this is a great contest for people to get their quilts in. And we really need some youth. I mean, we're getting a lot of entries already for the adult, but we don't have any youth entries yet. So if y'all know that person out there, it's 17 and under, and it can be a table runner. It doesn't have to be a full-blown quilt. It can just be a table runner. But get them involved, and let's get these youth, out here sewing and quilting, and get them involved in this, because this is a great hobby, guys. Y'all know that. And so we want to make sure that we keep getting that younger generation involved in this. So I got to tell y'all a story. And before we get Nathan on, I got to tell you a real quick story. So as y'all know, we talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago. And one of our regular customers, she goes by C. Lombard on here. Well, her first name's Carol. I'm going to give you a spoiler. Her name's Carol. So anyway, our customer service manager the other day came in here and gave me this sales receipt and said, hey, this lady just bought a quilt kit, and on the notes it said it's Blaine's fault. I was like, what's that mean? So anyway, I saw it. I saw who it was, and I remember I didn't know what Carol's first name was at the time. I've always just called her C. Lombard. Well, I'd given her a challenge on the show. I said, you need to get one of our quilt kits and do it and enter this. So Carol, she did it. She took the challenge. She basically bought one of our quilting kits. She's going to make it, and she's going to enter it into the quilt contest. So her first time ever doing it. And so I actually shot Carol an email and said, hey, I'm glad you're taking the challenge. And we kind of went back and forth a little bit. So Carol, I don't know if you're on today, but if you are, thank you for getting involved, and thank you for doing this. And hey, anybody can do it. I proved that to my quilting challenge. If y'all remember, anybody can make these quilts. It may not be like the professionals, but hey, just try it. And it's not as hard as it seems. So, but anyway, that was my little story. I thought that was so funny that she, in the notes, it just said, it was Blaine's fault or blame it on Blaine or something like that for her buying that. So anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, we got a great show. And speaking of our there she is. She says, just finished my first quilt. Thanks, Blaine. I can't read it all. What's it say? It's all my fault. Well, Carol, I'm so happy that you took the challenge and did it. And I can't wait. And you're supposed to send me pictures too. Remember that? But she's going to enter that quilt into the competition, and it's going to be awesome. So we can't wait for that. And hey, I challenge each and every one of y'all. You can buy one of our ready to sew quilt kits, get out there, make a quilt, and enter it. Hey, you never know. You have a chance to win a $7,000 quilting package. And we're giving two of them away, a People's Choice and the Judge's Choice. So, hey, it's going to be a great thing. So, and then all the people are watching, remember, all you have to do is vote on it, watch and participate, and comment and all those things. You're going to be automatically entered to win that Dream Studio sweepstakes or giveaway, not a sweepstake, but a giveaway. So it's going to be a great thing. And we're going to be giving so much product away, guys. I'm telling you, it's probably going to be upwards of $100,000 of product that's going to be given away for that week. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. It's so much product we're giving away throughout the whole show. Every day, there's going to be tons of products away. And we're not talking about, just like our normal little stuff. It's a lot of machines and a lot of things. So you don't want to miss this. This event's going to be incredible. And we got such good people in there. And speaking of good people, and Grace is actually one of our platinum sponsors. And Nathan Erznoznik is on the show today. He's going to be part of the Quilt Fest as well. And I always look forward to sharing the screen with Nathan. He's so much full of knowledge about quilting and quilting machines. And so let's welcome Nathan Erznoznik to the show from Grace. And Nathan, I know you've got a brand new product that you're going to show us today. And we just released this thing, and we're super excited to talk about it on our show today and share it with everybody on the show.
Well, wonderful, Blaine. Thanks. First, let me come back to you, Blaine. I love that, and everybody else that's participating with us today. It looks like we have a wonderful crowd. Take Blaine up on that offer. In fact, some of the things that I'm going to show you today will prove. I have had a chance to do a couple quilts. I have a couple really slightly different things that people can do with fabric and threads we're going to talk about. But I want to just support you in that thought, Blaine, that really this is something for everybody. People can get in, you can put a couple layers of fabric together and, you know, do some designs over that. You don't always have to piece them either. There's the whole cloth things. And Blaine, with that, just really thanks for allowing us to participate with your big event that's coming up. That sounds absolutely amazing. And, you know, just a shout out from our side as a manufacturer, it's wonderful to see, you know, a company like yours. And Blaine, I know that this is not something that takes just a little time. It takes quite a bit of time, a lot of people in order to bring it all together. And it sounds like you have some wonderful names, great judges. And I'm like, how many days? 6 days, did you say, of full streaming?
Yeah,
all I know,
6 days.
That's pretty crazy. I know that we did in the past, we ended up with about 4 when we had done an event. And I'll tell you, that's a lot to prepare. So again, thanks for letting us be there. I'm going to encourage everybody, again, that's viewing and watching part of this, you know, make sure to participate. I know that Sewing Machines Plus does an absolutely wonderful job. You know, Blaine, I always bring up your customer service and the team that you have, and then your experts. I really think that the people, you know, that are out there that aren't quite sure what they do to get started or how to get started, you know, even if it's with a domestic machine and what's part of that next step. And if you're thinking of quilting, you know, give Sewing Machines Plus a call. Talk with them. They do know, because the amount of products, Blaine, that your business sells and the amount of customers that you touch and the amount of experiences that you have is incredibly vast. And so I just really want to do that shout out and thank everybody for participating, and then, you know, go and make those phone calls and have some conversations. So in fact, it's an exciting day. Blaine, one of the things we talked about, this is kind of like the national release of this product, really. I know that we have a couple simple things that we've talked about briefly starting here on Monday, but really this is it. And so everybody that's watching this is exciting. I'm going to put this challenge out there. If you're watching this and you think and have even the slightest idea, like, wow, you know, this is a little bit different. One is I would encourage you to make sure to log on. And then Blaine, I don't know if you have a list that you're doing kind of like you've done in the past where people can have a chance to connect with your team members. Is that something that's available, or kind of what would be part of that process if people find some interest today in getting a hold of you guys?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do, Nathan, and glad you brought it up. So again, guys, we're going to show you a brand new product today. And if y'all have questions, you can, you know, there's 4 ways basically to order a product from us. You can go to our website and just order it directly. But if you have questions, you can call 800-401-8151. You can go on our website. We have a live chat agents that are standing by too that can answer questions. And then Kyle will probably put up a link in the chat to Google Sheets. And the Google Sheets, we use those a lot because we were so busy on the phones a lot of times. If you call in, you may not get an operator immediately. You can fill out that Google Sheet, and it's actually live, real time in the call center, and they can see that on their screens, and then they can call you right back. So it's a great way if you can't get through to make sure that somebody does see your name and number, and they'll give you a call back. So just make sure you fill that out, and we'll give you a call and go from there. But Nathan, you're right. We pride ourselves in knowing a lot about quilting, and most of our salespeople are extremely knowledgeable about long arms. And some are a little bit more knowledgeable than others because they have worked the quilt shows with me and worked on the long arms, and they know it really, really well. But everybody is very versed in the call center, probably more than any company I've been around. So really proud of our team there, and you know, we love the long arms, and we sell a ton of them. We're probably the #1 long arm dealer in the country by far, and I know that we're your #1 dealer, and so we know the Grace products extremely well. And so anyway, I'm itching for you to show this new product. And you know, one of the things, Nathan, we've always talked about is people, their objection when I've at a trade show, they're like, man, I would love to have that. I just don't have the room. Today, you're going to have something that's completely revolutionizes quilting, and it you know, it's basically going to answer that objection, isn't it?
It is. It's pretty amazing. And so let's kind of get right into that. But I'd like to ask those that are watching too, if this is, again, not only calling Sewing Machines Plus, but if you find an interest, reach out to a friend, invite them to come and see this. What we have found, Blaine, on what I'm going to show you, and I know I'm kind of holding this up and I have a lot around me. And so, but part of what we have found is, and I, you know, we were hoping this would be the case, but what we found is that this started resonating with so many more people. No, it's not just I'm quilting. It's not that I need to try to solve part of those challenges. It might be somebody who has thought about that. If I am a quilter, I know that there's these long arms or these mid arms and there's these systems. Really, what are those? It's just going to change part of those. And I would love to throw this out. If you have a sewing machine, raise your hand if you have a sewing machine at home. Everybody, we're going to put our hands up. If we have 2, maybe we have 3 or 4. If you have one of those and you're thinking of engaging and trying to do a little bit more with fabric, whether it's embellishing the fabric. These days, Blaine, people are doing a lot more than just quilting as well. I like to call it, like thread painting is another element. I'm going to show you kind of a coloring by, a sewing by number kind of a technique. But what this tool does is it can transform the way the consumer can interact with their machine and their fabrics, and that can be quilts. And we've called this very specifically the Cutie tabletop frame. So this frame is not something that requires a permanent spot. To your point, Blaine, one of the biggest challenges people have is, where am I going to put something? I feel like it would be great to have a tool that solves some of the challenges of pushing the fabric and fighting and having that struggle and the tiredness that comes from trying to move your quilt around underneath the machine, right? And so this, you think, well, how do I do that? Well, there are these quilting systems that solve that key problem. One of the other big things is, well, how much are they? Now, I would tell you that the price continues to become more and more affordable. However, our goal was not to limit and to try to make this available to absolutely the largest amount of potential customers that there are. So what we have in front of us, and today we're launching, is what we call, it's the Grace frame. It's called the Cutie tabletop frame. And we're referring to it as such because it will work for finishing any size quilt, by the way. And it can go on any type of a flat table surface. And in front of me, I'm going to be showing you how easy it is to set on a table and how it can be stowed and stored into a closet. I'm going to show you how the machines sit onto the different pieces and parts. And we're going to talk about those different pieces and parts and those different components. So just quickly, kind of to give you a look at what we have around us in the room. Over here on my left or your right, we actually have the frame that is set up with the different parts of this on just a foldable table. And so that's a really easy thing that gives a lot of our customers a chance to know that this doesn't require a whole lot of space and it can be portable. I'm just going to kind of lift it here and just show you this whole thing is actually just sitting. It doesn't bolt on. It doesn't hold on to this at all. So it just kind of sits on there. Behind me, what we're looking at right here behind me is this is the same one that I have, but I've set this one up and I have fabric draped over it. So we're going to show you how does the fabric get applied? How does the fabric move? I have part of a small project I'm going to quickly show you that I thought would be a fun thing to do. One of the things that we thought we were really hoping that would happen is, let's say you've quilted a quilt, and let's say that you're piecing quilts, and I would ask, how many do you have that are undone? Okay, there's probably quite a few you might have sitting around. This gives you a chance to finish them. But we also think that this is going to be a great thing that you might see for others as well. And I think that this is going to start to bridge part of that gap. Blaine, you brought up again, hey, we want some people under the age of 17. How do we start to give and provide potentially tools and other things for them that also allow them to engage in part of this outside of just the machine? So that's part of what we're looking at here. This is a domestic machine. We have it sitting on part of this tabletop frame. Makes it very easy and light to move around, and we're going to talk about how this works. Then behind me here, if we were to kind of go back, we come back here, we have our mid-arm. This is a 15-inch machine. Now, let me step back. All of these, it's just the exact same frame, and the frame has the ability, and it has been built in so that you can actually expand, and the frame can continue to be ready to work with different size machines. So we have a 15-inch machine, and then back here on my far right, what we have on the back right here is our 19. And so this little simple Cutie tabletop frame will work with all of the domestic machines into the mid-arm and up to the long arm. And there are even more things like even automation that can be applied to specific machines with those capabilities that are built in. So Blaine, really quick, just to kind of give you this, let me kind of show you. This whole package comes easily shipped in a box to our customers. And this is it, by the way. This can be delivered to you and dropped off on your door. And literally, it is an entire quilting system in a simple box that you can then put on a table and then stow when you need to stow that. So Blaine, let me kind of bring you back, and I want to kind of get your thoughts as you see part of this. And again, this is some pretty amazing things. We have never done this, and our goal was simplicity. How do we make it so that when a consumer gets this, it's not only easy to bring into their home. You don't need to hire somebody to come help you build it. You don't need somebody to help you move it and shift it around. And so this is a whole new concept that we think is going to resonate with just so many more quilters that are out there, Blaine.
You know, Nathan, you're exactly right. And I've been calling this, you know how everybody talks about a bed in a box? This is a quilting frame in a box.
That is a great thought.
I mean, you think about it, everything's in a box nowadays. Hey, this is going to be so simple to get. And all you have to have is just a table. And, you know, I was telling somebody the other day, if you had one of those fold-in tables that has the adjustable height legs, you could have it, you could use that to make it any height you want to fit your height. And people that have motorhomes that are traveling that want to take this, they can collapse that thing down, slide it under their bed, and take it on the road with them. And they could actually quilt in their RV. It is just incredible what you could do with this. And it just opens up a whole new world. That's why I'm so excited about this, Nathan.
It does. With that, let me kind of talk about some of those simple dimensions. We have found that when people start to look, first they want to say, what are the different parts and pieces? So let's look at that. How big or what kind of a table size would this need to fit on? So let's answer those two key questions quickly. Right now, the width of this frame, as far as the size from left to right, and I don't know if we can go to our overhead camera here, and we can show this space that we have here. So this is 4 feet wide. And so we end up with 4 feet across. And then front to back, we're looking at, again, let me go ahead and push these rails in just to kind of show you when it's narrowest if we have a domestic machine. We're right over 34 inches from front to back. And so this as a unit is very, very easy to have it. And then I'm going to keep us on this shot really quick. I'm just going to show you that we have a couple pieces. So we have some carriages, and this is a bottom and a lower. But part of what I want you to see here is I'm just going to kind of hold this in the camera here quickly. This is the bottom carriage. I'm going to go ahead and sit that down. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you this top. And we're going to talk about the handles here in a minute, but how the handles have different adjustments and everything. But I just want to sit this down here for a second because here is the frame. I am going to go ahead and lift this off briefly. And then if we can go back to my wide shot camera here, I'm going to show everybody with me as I'm lifting this off.
Hey, Nathan, can you hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
Hey, we're getting a kind of a bad echo on your end. It may be like if your volume, maybe if you got a speaker, if y'all could turn that speaker down a little bit, maybe. I think it's coming back through your mic.
Okay, great.
Perfect. You sound great right there. That's good right there.
If there's anything else maybe, and it might be because I'm putting my head down over there. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go lift this off really quick just to kind of show you how this just lifts simply off. And I'm just going to kind of hold that. And then taking that same here, I want to show you. So this is the width. We're a little over 8.5 inches on the width here. And then from the front to back, we're going to need about 30. But then it stays together. Once you build this, it's super lightweight. It's easy. It's very durable. I'm going to take this and lift it and just put it back up here on the top so you can kind of see that process. The rails are super strong. One of our things that we wanted to make sure that we always do is we're really concerned about making kind of quality behind all the things that we always produce. And so that's a really important piece to make sure that the product has the right strength, has the right functions and the features, and then allows our customers to ultimately find great success in their quilting process. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down here for a minute. And if we can go ahead and take a look at that again, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot of that so we can kind of see that that's all put back together. And by the way, everything that we're looking at all comes with the frame. So the clips and the clamps and the side tension pieces. So if we can go back, let's go ahead and take a look because I want to show everybody, Blaine, how would we put our machine on this? What would be part of the process that we would use in order to get this up and going to start quilting? So with this, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how easy it is to take this rail. We did this so that you do not need any tools. Once it's built, you can simply access the frame. A couple clips help take some rails out. We're going to set the machine on that table. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a close-up right here. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to go ahead and slide off the edge. We're going to come over to the other side here too as well and do the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That lifts the rail off. So the rail is now off of the frame. We're going to grab a machine, which I'm just going to lift up here. And I'm just going to go ahead and it sits on the trolley. So it doesn't require more than that. The trolley itself has been made and designed around all of our standard current modeled frames that lets you work with the machines up to 13 inches. And then if you have a mid or long arm, like a 15 and a 19, they also can work with this bottom carriage. But here we go. So I've placed this here. Now, if we can take a look at the side of the frame. Yeah, I'm going to have us look at the side of the frame really quick. Can we zoom in right here? I want to show them this easy height adjustment right here. So right now, if we're looking at this, I'm going to show you how easy it is to set the height based on the machine. So there's these little clips. Let me kind of move this out of the way so we can kind of see that there's two little clips right here. So I'm going to clip these down. That allows this whole rail to simply be raised up. We'll pop that back in place. I'm going to now just go to the other side quickly and do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead. Our rail is ready. We're going to just set the rail back on there. Those pop back in place. I'm looking at my machine, making sure that it's clearing the rail, and we've got the free moving motion on that. And literally, Blaine, with that, the machine has been set on the frame, and it's now ready for us to go ahead and load the fabric on top of there. So I just wanted to quickly come back to everybody and let you see how simple that was. Once that frame's built, it can sit on the surface. It has a really nice thick pad on the bottom of the frame so that you don't have to worry about the surface you're putting it on. A lot of people might say, well, should I put it, or is it, maybe it's not safe to put on a dining room table. Maybe I don't want to put it on a counter. You're absolutely fine to do so. But let me maybe open this up for some questions. Now, how many of you out there, again, have more than a project that you feel like you can finish quilting if you are a quilter? Hands up. If that is the case, how many of you feel like you now would be able to find a space to either use a folding table or, for maybe a simple project, put this up on a table or a counter surface now to use your domestic machine in order to start that quilting process? Looks like we have a question from Sarah Holtz. Cohen, how do we know what machine works on it? This is pretty easy. What I would tell you is the machine, you need an ability to lower the feed dogs because you're going to be free motion quilting. If you can free motion sew with your machine by pushing fabric through it, it literally can sit on the carriage itself. So the carriage is very universal. It really is just a simple platform. The machine sits on it. There's no width restrictions, and there's really no depth restrictions on part of that because the machine's sitting it, and the handlebars on this particular frame are different than our others, that they come down underneath and out in front. So there's actually nothing around the machine that the machine potentially would bump into, or it would cause it to not sit on that platform. But again, remember and make sure that you have, and you can lower the feed dogs so that those feed dogs don't grab the fabric as you're trying to free motion move the machine across the top. One of the other questions is, what is the largest size quilt? Well, let me show you really quick how we actually quilt with this and what that process is so that you can understand. The quick answer is there's no limit. You can do anything as small as your 1 foot little simple table runner or a table mat if you wanted to do some quilting or do different type of decorative stitching on fabrics. And now, instead of you trying to push that backwards and upside down, it's like drawing with a pencil. So let me go ahead and show you, and let's put the fabric on this frame. Let you see some of those different pieces that hold the fabric, and I'm going to show you how that fabric then drapes over it. We call this zone quilting, or you're quilting this in particular areas, one area at a time, and then we move the fabric to continue quilting through that. So I'm going to go ahead.
While you're loading that, I just want to remind everybody too, hey, as long as you're actually making comments, asking questions, you're going to be automatically entered to win today. And we got a terrific giveaway today. We're going to give away 2 Encore 260 sewing machines. And Nathan, we got an actual special surprise too for what else we're giving away today, aren't we?
We are. Those, and what I'd like to say is, this, you might not want to, but I'm like, you can invite some friends in, because what I wanted to do, Blaine, is I wanted to go ahead and also give away one of these cutie frames to one of your lucky participants who's with us today. So I would encourage you to go ahead and think about, throw in a couple comments, and then Blaine, I know that usually you draw from those people that are participating. These are currently, and let me just kind of clarify, these are pre-order. Our order is on the way, but just so you know, they're going fast. This is something that we thought would hit a couple key points with some of those quilters out there. We also have international parties as well. And our first order is getting gobbled up quickly by a lot of dealers, a lot of people out there that are seeing this now for the first time, because it's working with so many different people. So Blaine, yes, we're going to be giving away a lucky person today one of these cutie tabletop frames.
So, that sounds great, Nathan. And also we're going to give away 2 of the Encore 260 sewing machines. We got some the grab bags, our swag bags bundles. We're going to give some of those away. And naturally, we're going to give you, I think we're going to give a couple of the sewing mats away. So we're going to pick some random winners, guys. So make sure you're asking questions, making comments. You can share. If you're down on YouTube, go down and give us a thumbs up and hit that bell notification. And you can also comment and ask questions from YouTube. So in Facebook, you can do the same. So make sure you are doing that. You automatically win, because man, what a great gift, to win something today like that. This new cutie frame and the sewing machine. So great stuff away. So Nathan, we're going to go right back to you, and we're going to let you show them how to put that fabric on and show how easy it is.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Blaine. So with this, I'm going to just show you right now. What I did is I simply draped the fabric over the frame. So right now it's resting. If you'll notice, you'll see that part of this fabric is draped down here over the side. And I'm going to show you part of this. So if we can kind of see part of this, fabric is draping over this. This kind of works like a hand quilting hoop. So those that aren't familiar with quilting in zones, the fabric does not roll around a rail. It simply lays on top of the frame. And then we have these clips. Now I'm going to kind of show you these clips here, a little bit of a close-up. These clips have been very specifically designed. There are ones that go in the throat, and these just pop over the rail. Let me go ahead and pop this one over the rail. I'm going to go ahead and get this one put over the rail too. Now you can see that we've already done a little bit of quilting, and I'm going to show you how we move this. Let me put the next one on there here. Just a minute. And then we have front clips. I'm going to show a close-up of the front clips if we're okay. Here is the front clip. Now I love pointing these out. If we look at all of these ridges, the reason we have ridges is this frame actually has square rails. Now that's kind of different. Most frames have round rails, but that's because you're rolling them. These stay fixed so they don't move. But how do we create tension? Well, these very particular shaped quilt clips is what we call them. They just simply clip over the front, and I'm just going to kind of go ahead and push that down over there. Take the two, and I'm going to show you here once I get those kind of on there. And then what we can do is we can kind of rotate those to create a little bit of extra tension on our fabric. Let me get this machine in there. There we go. Then what we can do is we roll the fabric in the throat of the machine here. So we're going to go ahead and roll this up. And there are little bungees that are actually already attached to the rail, and we simply clip that. These help us hold the fabric in place. So we can kind of see here, these little bungees help just hold everything in place. Let's get this machine here, move back up. Move that out of the way here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to now roll the front of the quilt. I myself, when I do this, I don't necessarily roll it all the way from the beginning. I just kind of fold it a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is roll this up just a little bit more here. And what's interesting about this frame versus all the other frames on the market here, Blaine, is that this, instead of now draping down over the front, this actually just sits right up on top of the front rail. And we have the same type of bungee clamps in the front that help us just hold and keep that fabric up and out of the way. Up and out of the way here of our handlebars. And with that being the case, one of the things this now allows us to do is I'm going to kind of go ahead and sit down in front of this just briefly so that everybody can kind of see what we've got going on here. So this allows us to sit down in front of the system and now allows us to glide the machine over the surface. So think about this. Take a minute and step back. If you've pushed your fabric through your machine, if you've ever tried to draw that way, one of the things we find is that it's fairly difficult because it's actually backwards and upside down. This way, it's like taking a pencil in your hand and now drawing. So do a little exercise with me. Everybody that's with me here, take a minute. Think about this for a second. Take your writing hand and hold it in the air. Like if this was something you're going to go ahead and write and draw with. What I want you to do now is to reverse it, put down your writing hand and take your other, which is your non-hand, the hand you don't use. There might be some ambidextrous people out there, but take our left hand. What I want you to do is now take your hand that you normally write with, put it in front of you. And then what I want you to do is taking your left hand, I want you to try to move your right hand and see if you can then sign your name. It's fairly hard because it's actually upside down and backwards based on the motion. So this process, what we find is that most people, once they start to push it, they don't feel very comfortable. It's a little bit awkward for them to learn. Now, take your writing hand again. If you were to go ahead and write and sign your name in the air, see how easy that is if you were just to sign your name. The same thing applies. When we take this, it's literally, and I'll go ahead and rotate this handle down, it would be like taking that pen or pencil and now writing and drawing like you would be by moving your machine over the surface of your fabric. So let's go ahead and just take a minute, Blaine. Let's go back and see what other questions we might have that are popping up based on some of this. And then we'll talk about a few other features and some of the other functions, like the handlebars, what their adjustment is, how we can use that from both the front and the back of the frame. I want to then talk about a couple projects that I would love to help encourage you that would show you how easy it is to start with it. And then we'll kind of move from there. Do we have any other key questions that are coming up there? Looks like we're getting a couple people saying great explanation, so we can keep on going and see if there is a key question that does come up. Maybe at this point, let me do this. All the frames that we produce do come with some very detailed help and information here as far as the instructions. It says what size table is needed for the frame system. The size table you're going to look at, it needs to be at least 4 feet wide, so it's a 48 as the minimum on the width, and you're looking at the base is of 22 inches. The frame itself, its base frame is 44, so it's 48 inches, so it's 4 feet by just under 2 feet wide. So there are several brands out there that make those folding tables that are fairly small. This would sit on those because it has a fairly small footprint on the bottom of the frame itself, so it does not require a large table in order to use this. If you're thinking about putting this up for a period of time, in a living room or somewhere else where you're going to use that, you can pretty much say, I think there are some tables that are about 52 inches kind of on average, and they're usually about the 24 inches deep. Those work absolutely wonderful in order to put this frame on there. I was going back to talk about the instructions. One of the things that people kind of find that there's a little bit of concern. How easy is it to set up, Nathan? How easy is it to continue to use? Well, we have very, very, very simple instructions that literally walk through every single step, one step at a time, the different parts, the different pieces. And then also we have videos. And so we have a whole suite of videos specific to this product that don't only talk about what and how to build the machine, but more importantly, how do you put the fabric on here? What happens once we finish quilting through the first section and we need to move to another area? I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that here right now as well. So let's just say that I've been quilting and we're moving through part of this and we're getting to a spot where as I've done this and we get to the end and I'm done quilting here, well, how do we take the fabric off and how do we move my quilt to get to the next area? So we kind of just reverse what we do. Simply pull off a couple of these clips that let my fabric now drape back down. Going to take the ones off in the throat of the machine. So now we're going to take these off. So those are my upper clips, my front clips here, just pop right off. Let me go ahead and kind of pop that off here again. Now, I will tell you, one of the things that people do when they try to pull these is they grab around them. Don't grab around these. I like to talk about taking 2 fingers, lifting them, and then you can get a finger in here and this pops right off. It's nice and easy. Maybe really quickly, I'm going to tap these together. I love talking about the particular quality of the product that we have on this as well. We use polycarbonate, which is a very high strength plastic material that we've specifically designed to have this shape. What that is the same things that's used for safety glasses. And so these are meant to have incredible flex and to last the life of the frame. And so you're not going to need to be replacing these. Don't run them over with your car. We've had people do that. So, you know, you're transporting it. And as Blaine mentioned, maybe it's going into your motorhome. Maybe you're going to a friend. Hey, have you ever went to a quilting retreat or even a quilt guild event? Let's go ahead. And now you have a simple frame that can actually go with you to an event like that for those other people as well to have and participate with. So I have it all unclipped. I'm going to drag the fabric now. So we just simply drag the fabric And you'll notice that we end up with the fabric now that is now inside of the space of the machine. And we just, again, we're going to go back and do the same process that we did. We're going to take our quilt clips. These quilt clips just come back on. We just pop them back up on top in the throat of the machine here. So we're going to clip those back on. And then once I'm done clipping these on, what we're going to do is we're going to, I like to call it kind of fluffing my fabric here just a little bit. And then we're going to take our front clips, and there is a direction on these. We want to make sure that we can read the name that's facing us. And these just pop down over. So am I going to quilt? I will quilt, not with this one. In just a minute, I will quilt on this machine over here that I have set up. So, but yes, I will be quilting for you. Again, going to go ahead and just roll up my fabric. And again, this doesn't have to be pretty. Really what we're doing is just taking this fabric. We're really just looking at a way of being able to hold it up and over and on top of this front rail. Let me get that hook down there. It looks like I missed that really quickly. Let's go back. It's pretty easy. There's just a simple little slot we can just clip that into. And so now, again, the fabric has been shifted. And now we can begin, and our foot pedal just drapes over and it comes underneath, and we use our foot pedal underneath this, and we would then use this to move and quilt through this. I guess I did forget to put these bungees on. Everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. It is great for vacation home. Think about that. What other places do you think you might love to be able to quilt if you were spending some time there? You know, whether it's a second house, a vacation house. We always joke. We want to, you know, take this with you camping. Well, I guess you need to be able to use your machine if you're going to take this with you camping. But it's just super portable. It goes in the literally the 4 feet wide. It can sit on the back seat of a car in order to transport it. I'm going to now take this apart. I want you to see it one more time as I pull it apart. I will show you the different parts and pieces. Maybe before I do that really quick, if we wanted to bring Blaine back up, maybe we could talk briefly really quick about the price on what this is and what the current value is. And encourage them again, if there is some interest, to go ahead and get on that list, Blaine, that I know that you guys have with your team.
Yeah, that's right, Nathan. This, the price on this, guys, is $789, and we are taking pre-orders right now. So, hey, again, like I told you before, there's 4 ways to order. You can actually go right to the website and place it in your cart and go ahead and order it. It'll be a pre-order. These are probably going to ship in mid-February. Then you can either call 800-401-8151 and speak to one of our sales agents, or you can go on chat and speak to one of our live chat agents on the website, or you can just fill that Google Sheets out if you have some questions. And if you can't get through to anybody, fill that Google Sheet out that Kyle's going to put the link in the chat there, and then y'all can come right back and they're going to give you a call and talk about it. But these are pre-order only right now. We're kind of jumping ahead of the game and launching this, but it's a mid-February delivery time. And I wouldn't wait, because Nathan told y'all earlier, if you're interested in one of these, go ahead and pre-order, because what's going to happen, they're only getting a certain number of these to sell immediately from the factory. And so those are going to go pretty quick. This first batch is going to go pretty quick. So I would get my name on one if you want one. And that way you ensure you get one. But don't delay, act today if you want one of these things, because I guarantee you this is going to be a hot seller, Nathan. This thing is, I can see the potential already for somebody that wants to go to retreat, and they can take this with them. It's so much easier to transport. And all you got to have is a folding table, or just your dining room table, or a bar, anything to put this thing on. And
anything like that. Blaine, think about this. You and I, we've been in this business for quite some time. We've been to different events, and we talk to quilters all the time. I don't know if obviously we had, what was it? Carolyn, what was her name again, who just took the challenge to do her first quilt with you?
Carol Lombard.
Carol, so not everybody has done a quilt, but if you've pieced a top, okay, how many of you really have a piece top? How many of you have tried to do that in your general domestic machine by pushing the fabric through that? Okay, raise of hands. We've all done that. Not necessarily an easy process, Blaine. This is the solution. And that, I'm not just saying that. I've been with our business now for over 15 years. Our whole goal, and really what we want to do, is to provide the tools that help make quilting easier, that allow consumers to do more of what they love. If you want to give a quilt away, you can either struggle by pushing it through the throat of your machine, or you can buy a cutie, put it on your tabletop, whoop that out, and give that baby blanket to the person who you love. Or you might have still waiting to finish your quilt to give that baby blanket away. What a great way to get through that much quicker. Not only is it easier to use by drawing and moving the machine over your fabric, you're going to find that by putting your machine and being able to glide it over, going and moving it across and not having to struggle by pushing and pulling that is wondrous. It is a significant difference to those who've ever tried to really do this on a domestic machine. I did see a couple of things pop up that I thought it would be really fun to just kind of go back to. Yeah, you probably have never thought about getting into something like this. This is great for those who do have in our quilters. If you have a lot of those quilt tops, this is great if you're not necessarily a quilter, but you're wanting to engage with fabric in a different way. In fact, I'm going to go ahead, and it looks like we have part of what that special is right now on the screen at $7.89 is the current promotional price on that here with SMP, SewingMachinesPlus.com. So get it while you can. But I'm going to show you a couple pictures, and then I'm going to talk and get you to see another couple things. So I'm gonna just do this. And I thought about this because, Blaine, in my mind, as I started thinking about quilts that I have done and the challenges that have stopped me or have caused me to feel like I didn't really want to, I'm going to say the first thing you can think about is I have not been a quilter, and so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do, and I'm not going to have the skill set or the talent. So I thought I'd just show you guys a really quick, fun project. So I just went and found, a copy-free color by number, and you've probably all seen something like this, right? And what I did is I just scaled it up here. So I took something small, made it a little bit bigger. I can make it quite a bit bigger, and you can't really see, but what I did is I poked a bunch of holes here. If we can see that, if we can zoom in a little bit, maybe. I don't know, but what I did is I poked holes, and those of you that are out there, I don't know if you've ever heard of chalk or pouncing, but part of what this is, maybe I can kind of lay this over here, and we can kind of show this. I'm just going to quickly show people. I have some chalk. I'm just going to go ahead, and what you can do is you can kind of pounce this through some of the holes that I stuck in there. And what that does is it gives you an outline, and this allows you then to try to sew through this. And so I'm just going to kind of to show you. So I took this same concept really quick, and I know it's not going to be easy. We're going to kind of step back and see if we can kind of come over here maybe. I know it's going to be a little bit harder. Part of what this is, but I have this one set up. I have my foot pedal underneath. This one, normally I like to sew sitting down. I do prefer to use a chair if I can. I feel more comfortable sitting because I feel like I'm not trying to manage myself going left and right. I can just really worry about where the machine's at. This one we have on some bed stands actually. So this is an easy one. This is a little bit more of a permanent table you might have at home. And so what we would have with this is I put this here and I have the domestic machine, and I'm just going to kind of move this around, but I actually have part of the pattern. I started playing with this and then tracing around the pouncing. I was going to go back, and I'm starting just to fill in with some different colors of threads, like, sew by number. And I'm just going to kind of move this around. I'm just going to show you as I continue to quilt. So some of you wanted to know if I was going to go ahead and quilt. And I don't know if we're going to be able to see any of this, but so obviously you'll see how smooth and how light. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if you can kind of see this. This machine is a great machine. Sewing Machines Plus sells this. This is a great one to combo with a cutie if you decide to do so. This is their little Juki. I'm just going to show you how light this is. Like literally, I can just take a finger and I can move this around. One of the other nice things about this too is that the handles are adjustable, so you can choose an angle that works best for you. And again, as I'm doing this, you'll just notice so much freedom of motion, smooth, light, easy to move it. And again, looking at the whole thing is kind of part of what we've done on part of this, is this really makes it easy, again, to be able to do something that's a little bit different than what you might have normally been doing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead, put that back down. And if we can, what I would like to do is pull parts and pieces back off to take this down to its basic, and then show you, depending on your machine, how some adjustments are made. Blaine, with it, if I'm going to come back to you, or if we can see, are there any other general questions that we have right now as I get ready to move to this next part of the demonstration for our customers, for your customers out there?
Well, Nathan, I don't know if we've got any questions from the customers, but I've got one for you. So,
wonderful.
One of the things that I think that maybe somebody asked earlier, So if we're talking about the size of this thing, you said it was about, how long is the
4 feet wide? Yep,
so
4 feet.
It's 48 inches.
48.
So basically, they could probably put it on a 4-foot table then, couldn't they not?
Yes, they can. Yep.
You know, would you recommend they have some way of maybe clamping it to the table so it doesn't move around, or just you think it will sit?
Let's do this. Can we get a close-up on camera too here? I want to kind of come right here into this edge. I want to show Blaine one of the key things on this. The answer is no. What we've found is regardless of the size of your machine, you can kind of see there's a black line. We have a nice thick rubber mat that sits underneath this. What we actually found is that once this sits on the table, and if we could kind of zoom out a little bit again, and we look at the hole, I'm going to kind of try to move this around a little bit just so you can kind of see here. If you look at part of what this is, it's incredibly stable. This whole system, and one of the things that's nice, think about this. If we were grabbing the frame to move the frame, one is it can't slide anyway. So this can't slide on the table because of the rubber feet. But what we do is we actually don't move the frame. The machine glides over the surface. And so there is no friction between the machine and the table itself. So you do not need to clamp it. It actually holds itself in place, and the weight of your machine actually does a really, really great job at just keeping it in place. And so there is nothing else required. The frame sits on the table, you set your machine, clamp your fabric, and away you go. So we're going to go ahead. That was a great question. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull off the clips again. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and pull. Question coming back up again is what machine's compatible? Again, as long as you can drop the feed dogs so that your machine isn't trying to pull the fabric, then the machine can sit on the carriage. We'll give you another shot of the top of this carriage here for a minute. We'll go ahead and now I'm going to take this fabric. I'm just going to kind of work this off of the frame so that we kind of can see the whole frame with the machine. And here is our frame. Again, if I were to easily, we just slide off the side, allows the rail to come right off, which is so easy to do. The machine is now sitting there on its own, free motion moving. I'm going to lift the machine off, and I'm going to set that down on the floor. This and these are the other parts of the frame. So we have an upper carriage, and if you have your machine, right now, this hole is about 10 inches. So as long as your machine has a base wider than 10 inches, it will sit across this platform with no problems. There is no restriction on the width. So you don't need to worry about how narrow or how wide your machine is. And while I have this off, I'm going to show you the handlebars here a little bit more closely. The handlebars are adjustable with a simple knob. This is what we do in order to change and pull the machine handles in and out. Also, they come completely out. And we actually have the same attachment on the back. Let me turn this to the side. So we have the front of the carriage and the back of the carriage. And this allows us to work from both the front and the back of the frame. So that just slides right in. And again, in order to set the angle, what we do is we just tighten this hand knob. And what that does is that helps create a little friction and it holds those in place. So it's super easy to take if you're wanting to work from the front of the frame. If you want to work from the back, you say, well, why might I want to work from the back? We have plastic templates and you can do other types of tracing from the table surface. But I'm going to flip this back around. I guess it just doesn't matter because the carriage is the same front or back on that. But we have the upper carriage. I'm going to set that here on the side. This is the bottom carriage. It comes pre-assembled. You'll notice that it's steel. So this is still aluminum. We have these high precision bearings, and this actually has the same tracking system that our professional frames have. So this one has our dual track system. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and put that down here on the side. So you know, so far there were two pieces. I'm going to take our rail, set that back in here. I'm going to put my clips back on it. And then literally this is now ready to be stored. Because all the parts, I would take and move my two carriage pieces into my room, wherever I wanted to store, put them in my closet, clip my clamps back on here. And again, Blaine, based on your question, again, it's not hooked down. So what's really nice is this just lifts right up, and those rubber pads allow it. It doesn't have to be stuck down. I'm going to compress the frame a little bit because we would want it to be as small as possible for storage. So there we go, pushing those down. And now this frame could be literally lifted off and this can be taken and then put wherever you want. We also wanted to make sure, because Blaine, we knew that this would be moved around quite a bit. You'll notice that on the side of this frame, there's nothing that sticks off the side that can be broken. So there's nothing that would get snagged or something that we'd have to worry about storing it. We wanted to make sure that people can store it up on its side, because this is much smaller. In fact, let me show you this. The people that wanted to know the table size, this is the 22 inches right here. So this is the widest part of the frame. The front rail can expand, but you don't need to worry about that. All we have to worry about is this footprint, which is this front to back here is the 22. And from side to side, we're talking the width of this frame, again, is 4 feet, so 48 inches. I'm going to go ahead and set this back up here. And I do want to show you one more adjustment for our customers. One of the things you're going to find that if you have a bigger machine, so if the machine that you have is long, I'm going to maybe see if we can kind of zoom in on this. Can we see this over here? I'm going to show you. Really easy again. If you really remember, no tools required. So we simply can open this. We have one on both sides. And then this allows us to pull. And if you go maybe to number 2, or we can go back to our number 1 here so we can show the audience what's going on here on this. So what I'm showing everybody here is that the frame expands. And so, Blaine, this is how we start taking this from what a domestic machine would be. And we have more space. We have numbering on the side that allows us so that we can get them both at 3 on each side there. So we end up with that. Lock those back in place. This is now, and this has now been set up for a 15-inch machine or up to a 19-inch machine. So if we can kind of take a step back here, I'm going to kind of come over here for a second. I want to show you, again, this would be the 15-inch machine, and we can expand that rail. We can go to a 19-inch machine, and that rail comes out even farther. And one of the great things about all this is that this is the same frame. Same base features, same functions. All we're doing now is when you're ready to upgrade is you can simply buy the machine that you're ready for next, place it on that frame. The frame's already been built in so that you can expand it when you want to expand it. I want to show a couple of just fun things. This is a quilt that I did. Don't laugh. Okay, this is my quilt. And I did this on one of our hoop frames. And I just wanted to show you, and I wanted to just talk briefly about how I kind of went through this. Blaine, I am not going to enter this into your quilting contest, so I am not ready for that. And this is actually just a panel. So I just took a simple whole cloth panel. I did not piece this. I'm not a piecer. I do like and I do enjoy part of the process of finishing quilts, and so I have several that I've done, and I also love automation. So, but what I did on this one is I literally started and I went across the row, and this is really simple. Maybe if we can zoom in, I'm going to zoom on a couple just to show you how basic and how easy this is. And part of the things I want to show you is I just did a stipple. So I did a really simple stipple on this. Let's zoom in if we can on this little area here, and I went in and I did a little bit more decorating. I also did this, by the way. So this is what I did on the machine that I actually had behind me. So this is what I did on that little 9-inch Juki machine. So again, this is just where I came back in. I took that machine, free motioned and embellished. You can see I added some fill pieces because I wanted to add a little bit more decoration. But again, if we can kind of go back and take a look at this, pretty simple. This was just a simple panel. I did it on this type of a frame, a zoning frame. I did use this machine right here. So it was very easy for me to start going across this, working through it in zones, rolling down to the next section, rolling down to the next section. When I wanted to, I had a chance then to embellish part of those areas. So I just really want you to see that it's not a complicated piece, and it really does give you a lot of freedom that you don't have today if you're not using any kind of a frame in order to complete your quilts. I did want to show you another fun project. This is another great one that works on these kind of frames a little bit differently, a little bit of a smaller one here. And if you haven't seen strip quilting, this is one where you actually don't piece before it goes on the frame, and you end up sewing a top piece of fabric on, and then you end up sewing strips as you go across this. You end up sewing strips across the whole quilt as you do so. So as we do this, you go strip, 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 and you can come back and then you can embellish with some of the fine-tuned quilting. So again, this one is something that's really simple and a fun little project you can do as well. All these projects were done on hoop frames here. Here's one of my favorite. This was done by Carla Jerome, our education coordinator. And I love this one. Kind of talking about this a little bit, I'm going to maybe put this one up here for everybody to see a little. kind of drape this in for just a minute. This one was also done on a hoop frame. So I love just to kind of show some of the variation of what you can do if you get a frame like the Cutie. And what it just does is it allows it and makes it quite a bit easier for you to take that machine and move the machine over the surface of the fabric versus you pushing the fabric underneath the surface on its own. So again, I don't want to show you that. So I'm going to take one more quilt if I can show you guys another one here too, which is kind of a fun one. Again, done on the hoop frame, so we call it zone quilting. So like this little Cutie is. And again, you'll notice there is no limit to the size of the quilt. You can do a king size quilt on the same Cutie table, this little tabletop frame. And what I maybe can do right now is I think we might have, I wanted to share with you because this might not be for everybody. Like if there is the portable type, you're like, well, Nathan, this is a great process. I do have a domestic machine, but I think I can dedicate a little bit more space to something. I'm not sure if we have it queued up, but SewingMachinesPlus.com, you can also buy, it's kind of the next level frame. So the Cutie, this is a fairly lightweight frame. You saw it came in a fairly small box. The next style frame is the same type of a hooping style, but it comes with the legs attached, and it is called the Q-Zone hoop frame. So I don't know if that might be something we can have and bring up. You can see the Q-Zone hoop frame. It's a little bit wider. So this one actually is 4.5 feet. So it's 6 inches wider, and it does come with the adjustable legs. It's physically part of the frame. So they're not separable. People ask us all the time, this is a frame we've had out there for coming on 2 years. Hey, can I store it? Yeah, but you have to take 8 bolts, and you have to take another 2 from the front to remove the rails, and then you kind of have to keep your table and the track parts a little bit separate than the leg parts. So yes, you can, but it really was not designed for storage. It was not designed to really be portable like the Cutie tabletop frame has been. Think about this quickly. If we were to kind of come back, I'll show you this next quilt here. Think about what are some of the fears that you might have. Maybe I'm not sure if I can do part of the quilting. Understand and know that there are videos that we have that will help you understand the simplicity of placing the fabric on the frame and give you a really great start to how to start to move that machine across the surface. It's easy to store. Obviously it has, and is built very, very strong. And this is just a quilt you can see. This one has, if we were to look at a couple of these pieces right here, this is one done by Carla where this was just free motion. She went through and just went through each one of these little areas. I love this one because looking at it from far away, it's obviously a pair of lips. So cute. Love it. But when you're a little bit closer, you get the mosaic. So this was done on the hoop frame. And then I'm going to kind of lead us into part of this next quick space here. In quilting might not be, if you're free motion, it might not be for you. But if it is, that works wonderful. And this is a wonderful tool. There's another great accessory. Now this is going to be coming here probably in the middle of May, but we also do automation. And yes, any frame that we make sure that the computer automated systems can also work with those frames. Now there is a specific set of machines that are compatible. Reach out to Sewing Machines Plus if you have a question, is my machine compatible with the computer automation or not? But this one, I'm going to show you this one. This one was done also on a hoop frame, with like the Cutie here. But this one was done using a computer. So I love talking about some of these key differences to let people see, depending on where you're at, depending on your comfort level, there are all sorts of things, different styles of quilting, different styles of ways of combining. Like I kind of was talking about this thread painting and this color and sew by numbers, strip quilting and doing that on the frame, or free motion quilting, or again, like this one right here, this particular quilt, as we're looking at part of this one here, this one was done in rows, going across and going down. And then we also did part of a border on this particular one here. This was done with the computer automation, and it is an available accessory. Again, this automation accessory currently is something that we have, but the component parts, those will be available mid-year here for the Cutie frames specifically. So maybe if we can do a kind of a recap on a couple things, and then I wanted to show you one last item that kind of moved it to the next level machine. But if we can go ahead and bring up so we have the Cutie tabletop frame, then we had the Q-Zone. If we can bring up and queue up that Q-Zone hoop frame. And I'm going to show you this Q-Zone hoop frame one more time. Again, this Q-Zone hoop frame is kind of the next step. So the QD frame's on sale for $789. You'll notice right here on Sewing Machines Plus, if you're ready for a more permanent solution, you can get into that for $1,189. And then I believe we also have a slightly larger frame here that might be ready to show you guys too. We have what we call the Q-Zone Queen frame. Now this one, you cannot use all of the domestic machines because this frame is much wider. So there are specific machines because you have to have a speed control or a stitch regulator. So maybe if we can kind of come back to the studio here, I'm going to put this back together and let's talk briefly about some accessories with selected machines. I'm going to go ahead and put the bottom carriage back on this now, just to show you how easy that sits on there. We're going to take our top carriage. Again, that just kind of comes right in here. That just sits. Again, if you'll notice, nothing clips together. It just simply can sit on there. The weight of the machine will go on. I'm going to go ahead and raise this back up again so that we can put our other machine on there. Go ahead and set that back up. Just again to show you how easy this really is and what you can do in your home. Again, I'm going to take the rail out. You'll notice again that just pops right off. Lift the rail right off. Machine comes up and the machine just will sit again back on the carriage. We'll then take the rail, put that back in the throat of the machine, and literally we are now ready to start quilting. So I really love being able to show everybody how simple it was to go from it being apart to putting your machine on there to now clipping your fabric on and you can begin quilting. Maybe if we can walk the machine on here, let's do one more close-up if we can on camera too. I want to show everybody where I'm going to go ahead and push this in. So I'm going to go ahead and compress this rail. If we can see the front of the machine, we end up with this space. I'm just lifting these clamps. I'm just going to push that in until we get a little bit closer to the front of the machine. I'm going to put that at like, let's say a number 6. Clamp that on. So you can see just really easy to expand it. So whether you have a smaller 9-inch or a 10 or a 12, I think there's 13-inch domestic machines now, whether you do that or if we can kind of go back to camera 1. I'm going to kind of move back over here. If we move into a 15-inch machine, again, this is one of the most affordable mid-arms, full stitch regulation, a big M-class bobbin, and a lot more. Or you might even decide that you can move up to a 19-inch machine. Again, they all work on this frame in the exact same manner, in the same fashion with that. So pretty exciting stuff. So Blaine, let me kind of come back to this and bring this to you and see what other questions we might have, a few things on here that we can kind of finish up with everybody as they've been able to join us today.
Nathan, that's I'm telling you, that thing is incredible. And you know what I'm impressed by is just how easy it is to set it up, put a machine on it, make the adjustments. And, you know, I know a lot of people sometimes, you know, it's a little intimidating, you know, quilting frames are, but that is not intimidating at all. And what I like about it so much is even the way you're having to, you know, put the quilt on the frame, once you actually get all your quilting done, to advance that quilt is super, super quick and easy. I mean, you're talking, you know, you're probably going to spend 30 minutes or so, or maybe even an hour doing the free motion and doing that quilting. And then all it's going to take you is about 5 minutes to reposition it. And then you're set for another 30 minutes to an hour of just doing your free motion. So depending on how detailed you are. So I love that part of it.
Yeah, those are some key things. And again, Blaine, you know, think about this again. Think about, I have here at work, you know, this is one of my stories. We presented this and, you know, we've been working on this for quite some time. And we bring a group and we've had a couple, some outside quilters come in, some local people. And I'll tell you, once they saw this product, I started getting all kinds of questions from people who weren't even quilters. They're like, now, how does the machine just sit on that again? And they're like, now you can just move that around. And they're like, can I get one of those? I'm like, yes. And we also have ladies and gentlemen, if you have a significant other, let's throw them, hey, you ought to get me one of these, because we've had a lot of people like, hey, I know that my wife has been quilting, or my significant other, and I've seen them. This is at that point where it's affordable enough, Blaine, that they're like, I ought to get one of those because it will change the experience. It'll help them in that quilting process. It makes life and quilting a lot easier, a lot more fun is one of the other things that I really feel like. I feel like once you start to draw and move your machines across the surface, I'll tell you, the world opens up. I will caution you that it opens up greatly, because once you start to do this, you start to finish quilts a lot quicker, which is awesome because you buy more quilts, more kits from Sewing Machines Plus to finish them up. With that, you're going to probably get at a spot where you start to do more of this. You're starting to probably want to look at maybe what the next type of a machine might be, and you're wanting more space and more functions and more features with those. And so it's a great path to get you into it. And then it just grows from there. So Blaine, those are some really fun things to be able to have.
It is, Nathan. It's great. So, hey, I think we're ready to try to give some stuff away. And hey, if you're a first-time viewer today, if this is your first time on our show, hey, chime in and say, hey, this is my first time. We would love to kind of see who you are and see how many new people we have coming on. And
I see a couple birthdays out there. Some birthday people today. We hope you might be a lucky winner. So way to go. There's a Dar, Laurel Dar, several others earlier this morning I saw too. So yeah, thanks for joining us on your birthday.
Exactly. And the thing is, if y'all got some friends out there that are sewers or quilters or just do, even embroidery, hey, make sure you tell them about this show. We love, having new people, and we're always looking for guests like Nathan we're bringing on that are experts in their field, and we're going to bring them on and share their ideas and share things about machines and things they have. So what a great place to get some resources and knowledge about different things we have. So if you're new out there, make sure you chime in, and that'll automatically get you entered to win for this drawing. So guys, let's go ahead and give some stuff away. I think the first thing we're going to give away, Nathan, is we have a couple bundles of bags. So we have what we call our vent bags. We call them swag bags. These are I think this is a $49 value on our website to get all 8 of them. They're 8 different colors. They all have different kind of sayings on the bag.
Fun sayings. Love those. I've loved those. Yeah, they've been fun to see.
So, this is a perfect one right now. So, it says, when life gives you scraps, make a quilt. So,
that's what you do. I'm pretty sure, ladies out there, you probably have bins of scraps. Let's get on some of those quilts. So
we're going to go ahead. And today we got a guest director running our show today. Roger's here with us today. David had to go out of town. And so Roger's here running the show today. So Roger, get us
welcome, Roger. Wonderful.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job, by the way, too. And so Roger, get us a winner up there.
Looks like we got
So Mary Lynn Bartram, congratulations. You have just won a bag bundle. So Mary Lynn, what we always do on here, and so make sure we can get your bags to you. Actually send us an email to contest, plural, with an S on the end of it, at SewingMachinesPlus.com, and send us an email. In the title, put I won. Down in the body, just put your name, your shipping address, and put, hey, I won the bag bundle. And what we'll do is we'll get that shipped out to you right to your address as quick as we can. All right, Roger.
Congratulations.
Mary Lynn.
Way to go.
All right, so the next, let's give another bag bundle away. Get us another winner up there,
Bag bundle. Who else? Who else is going to be winning this? What do we got? There we go.
Metcalf. So congratulations, Bonnie. Bonnie, I don't know if you heard, but the same way, make sure you send an email to us at contest, plural, with an S on the end of it, to SewingMachinesPlus.com. Hey, in the title, put I won. In the body, put your name, your shipping address, and put I won the bag bundle, and we'll get that shipped out to you as soon as we can. So congratulations, Bonnie. All right, so our next thing we're going to give away, is it 2 sewing mats we're giving away, Roger?
Ooh.
Let's do it.
2 sewing mats. Okay.
Those sewing mats, Blaine, are nice. I saw a lot of comments. I don't think I was looking quite as patriotic as you. Like, that's pretty awesome. You came on in front of that. I'm just standing here feeling like, where's my mat? I need a mat. So, but yeah, those are amazing mats.
I need to send you one of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to give 2 of these sewing mats, and y'all can see, let me move the bags real quick. This is the red, white, and blue. As you can see, we love this one. That's a good shot of it right there. And we love our sewing mats. And if you're new to the show, we're going to explain to you why we love our sewing mats. The sewing mats, what they do is they reduce the vibration to your machine and basically help it last longer. So it's not going to, that shaking that goes right to your electronics, it reduces that. It also dampens the noise, and it protects the surface you have it sitting on. So they're 3 purposes to these things, and they're easy to take care of and clean. Just take a damp cloth and wipe them down. So we're going to give, and what we're going to do is we're going to give 2 of these away, and we're going to let you have your choice of color and size. How about that? You can go to our website. There's just all you have to do is on the website, type in up at the top sewing mats, and a page will come up and it'll show all the different sewing mats we have. I think we have 9 different sewing mats right now. We have 6 different colors, and then we have 3 that are limited edition. We have 2 colors in the Best Friends, and then this is a limited edition, the Patriotic Flag. So we're going to let you pick your size and what mat you want. So let's get us a winner, Roger.
Who is it going to be?
Kathy Lavelle.
Kathy Lavelle. Congratulations, Kathy. So Kathy, make sure you go check it out on our website, pick out the color and size you want for your mat, and send us an email to contest, plural, with an S on the end, at SewingMachinesPlus.com. And in the title, put I won. In the body, put your name, your shipping address, where you want this shipped to, and put what mat you want. Put I won the sewing mat and tell us what color and size you want, okay? So congratulations, Kathy. So Roger, let's pull up a second winner for this sewing mat.
We got Shannon McNulty.
Shannon McNulty. So Shannon, congratulations. You just won a sewing mat. And so Shannon, what we want you to do, again, send us an email to contest, plural, at SewingMachinesPlus.com. Put in the title, put I won. In the body, put your name, your shipping address, where you want it shipped to. And then we want you to put what mat you want. So the color, what you want, and what size. And again, you can go to our website, just at the search bar, type in sewing mats. It'll take you to that page, and you can pick the one you want. So how's that? Congratulations to both our sewing winners.
Wonderful.
All right.
Great bunch of gifts to give away.
Now we're getting to the heavy hitting, okay?
Ooh, what is that? Yeah. We're excited.
Give away 2 Encore 260 sewing machines away. This is a brand that's made specifically for Sewing Machines Plus. And what a great machine this is. We are so proud of this machine. We did tons of testing on this, and we've put it head to head against some of the $10,000 sewing machines out there as far as the stitch quality. And we had some expert sewers could not tell the difference in the stitches. So
yeah, Blaine, I've heard that's an amazing machine, like you were talking about, with that wonderful stitch. So that's a great giveaway, man. Anybody who gets that's lucky. So that's a wonderful one to be giving away.
And what we're going to do today, it's $299 for the machine. We're also going to throw in the extension table, which is another $50 value. So basically, you're getting a $350 value machine today. So you can get the extension table that comes with it. And so Roger, pull us up our first winner.
Here we go. Lucky winner of the sewing machine.
And the winner is, I believe it's Michael or Michelle Potter.
Oh, Michelle Potter.
So it's got 1 L. So probably Michelle Potter. Yep. So congratulations, Michelle Potter. And again, Michelle, you're winning that 260 machine, and we're excited for you. It's the Encore 260A, and what you need to do is send us an email to contest, with plural, with an S on the end of it, to SewingMachinesPlus.com. Put I won in the title, put in the body, put your name, your shipping address, and put I won the Encore 260A sewing machine. And we'll get that shipped out to you as soon as we can, and it'll come with that extension table. So congratulations, Michelle.
Congratulations.
Right, we got 1 more of these machines to give away, so let's give away another one.
The next winner is Susan Anastasio.
Susan Anastasio.
Correct.
So congratulations, Susan. You won a 260 Encore 260A sewing machine. And again, Susan, we're going to tell you, just like we have told everybody else, send us an email to contest, plural, with an S on the end, to SewingMachinesPlus.com. In the title, put I won. Down in the body, put your name with your shipping address where we can ship the machine to, and then just put I won the Encore 260A sewing machine. And we're going to give you an extension table along with that as well. So congratulations, Susan. Fantastic. All right. So here's our grand prize of the day. We're going to give away.
Blaine, really quick, recap. Look at this. Look at this. This is it. It's an entire quilting frame in a simple box that can be delivered to your door. Okay.
That's what
no experts required. Once it's set up, no tools required. In order to reset it back up, remove it, put it in your RV, put it on a table, take it with you. Now you don't have to kick your husband and remove his recliner. You don't need to give up that space. Don't need to give up the extra bedroom because it's all here in the cutie tabletop frame. So there you go. So sorry, I was just kind of putting that back out there. It's exciting. Get them while you can. And I'm being honest about that. So sorry, back to you, Blaine.
All right. So as Nathan said, guys, if y'all are interested in this thing and you don't win this one today, go ahead and go on our website, get a pre-order in. There's 4 ways to order. You can call 1-800-401-8151 and speak to one of our sales agents. You can go on the website, speak to one of our live chat agents, or you can just order direct. But it's going to be mid-February shipping. They're limited numbers that the manufacturers are the factories making for Grace. And when Nathan's getting in over there, there are going to be very limited numbers on this first batch. You've got to get your order in early, get on that waiting list, and that way we can get you one and ensure you're going to get one, because they will go quick. They will sell out the first run of these, and we want to ensure that you get one for that February delivery. So again, if you're looking to get one, go make an order today. But right now, we're going to actually give you one of these cutie frames away to one lucky viewer out there. This is a $789 value. And what a great gift. And thanks for Grace for providing this free gift for us. And so, Roger, let's pull up the winner.
Who is the lucky winner?
And the winner is
Peggy Laverne Perez. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Peggy. That is awesome. So Peggy, make sure you email us to contest plural at SewingMachinesPlus.com. It'll have an S on the end of the contest there. And with in the title, put I won. In that body of the email, put your name, your shipping address where you want this shipped to, and put I won the cutie frame. And what we'll do is these are coming in mid-February. We're going to send your name and address directly to Nathan. And Nathan,
we'll get it right out to you.
As soon as that hits the factory floor, off the factory floor, Nathan's going to ship it directly to you. How's that?
First ones to get it there.
That's pretty good service, right?
That is. It's exciting. It's easy. It's simple.
It is. So Nathan, man, I am so pumped about today's show. And I know, you're going to be back with us again in March. You're going to be part of our Quilt Fest. 6 days you're going to be on with me. You're going to be on every single day. We're going to be streaming live 7.5 hours each day. You're going to have a ton of product to show. We're going to have tons of product to give away. Grace is one of our platinum sponsors. And man, I can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks, Blaine, for having me. Thanks you, everybody, for joining us in. Again, I'm just going to ask you to reach out if you had somebody else that you had come in mind. If it's you, fantastic. If it's a friend, go ahead and share this information with them as well, and then have them get a hold of Blaine and the team out there. They do a wonderful job. Blaine, thanks for allowing me to participate. Thanks for everybody who had a chance to join us. Loved all the comments, loved all the questions. There's a lot more to come and a lot more to be doing. So thank you again, and I really appreciate all that you guys do on behalf of our business, Grace Company, and the exciting things that you are doing with all your customers.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you, Nathan. We look forward to working with you again. And again, thanks to Grace for all the product that they're providing for our Quilt Festival. And also thank you for providing the major gift we gave away today, the prize, and what a great gift it was. So guys, y'all heard it there. We had a great show today. I hope you learned a lot. And again, I want to remind everybody out there, mark this down, March 15th through the 20th. It's going to be our virtual Quilt Fest that we're going to be doing. It's going to run for 6 days, 7.5 hours, streaming live all day long. We have all the big major manufacturers in quilting going to be here. And we have some celebrity quilt judges are going to be judging. They're going to be part of the show. They're going to tell you, they're going to be on the show telling you some tips and tricks and sharing some techniques and tools with you. And they're going to be part of that. So it's going to be a great, great show. And when I tell you, if you like to win stuff, the Dream Studio giveaway is a dream. It really is. I mean, this is going to be $50,000 worth of product that we're giving one lucky viewer. And you're going to get to outfit your whole entire sewing studio or sewing room. And again, if you don't have room, I guess you're probably going to have to sell it to somebody, because we're going to be shipping it all to your house. And it's going to be a big, huge bundle of product. And then also, if y'all know any quilters out there that love to quilt, hey, and want to enter, their quilt in our contest, make sure they get in. We're taking submissions right now. You can go to our homepage right now, and at the very top up there, you'll see the Virtual Quilt Fest. You can click on that. It gives you all the information about entering a quilt. It's going to tell you all kinds of other information. It's going to talk about our judges and the judging criteria. So you want to make sure that y'all get that. And again, if y'all know any people out there, any youth, any kids out there under the age of 17 that are wanting to get involved in quilting, hey, this would be a perfect time to make that quilt and enter it in our contest. And we're going to give the top 3 people that the judges pick for the kids, the youth category. They're going to get $1,000 sewing package, and that's going to be including a sewing machine and some other goodies. So you want to make sure that if y'all know any young people out there that are interested, or if they're just sewers, they can actually come to our website and buy one of these ready to sew quilt kits and actually make their first quilt and enter it. So what a great chance for them to actually win a sewing package. So you don't want to miss this event. It is going to be huge. It's going to go for the 6 days. And, somebody told me the other day, they're like, Blaine, you're just putting more punishment on yourself because of those long days of being on air and all that. But you know what? It's worth it. We're looking so much, forward to it. And yeah, it's going to be a brutal marathon, isn't it, Roger?
And just in case, Blaine, I'll bring up the website right now where they could enter the quilt.
Okay, so Roger's going to actually show he just said he's going to show the web page. There's the web page right there. You can actually click on our main page on our website, and it'll take you to this product page. And he's actually scrolling up, and you can see we have the judges right there showing. We have all the people that are going to be on the show. And right now we have Jenny Doan up there. That's not completely 100% confirmed yet, but we are working with Jenny Doan to try as a special presenter to come on the show. And we're hoping we get her. She's trying to look at her schedule right now, but she's going to come on and she's going to actually do a special presentation for us. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we get Jenny on the show. And everybody knows who Jenny Doan is. I mean, she's pretty world famous. So got a great lineup of quilters and the presenters as well. I mean, our platinum sponsors, we just mentioned Grace is one of our platinum sponsors. You're going to see a lot of Grace product and a lot of Grace presentations. Handy Quilter's a platinum sponsor. You're going to see a ton of Handy Quilter products and demonstrations. And Dime is one of our platinum sponsors. And so Dime is going to be on here, and they're going to show you a lot of stuff with Eileen. And Eileen Roach is pretty famous in the industry. And so they're going to show you a lot of the new product and a lot of things too. So hey, it is going to be a great show, and we're looking so forward to it. But mark that down again. That's going to be March 15th through the 20th, and 6 days, 7.5 hours a day that we're going to be streaming, and it is going to be a ton of stuff. So I'm going to have to get some rest and get all rested up for that. And again, guys, I'm going to be back here in 2 weeks, and we'll have another special guest coming on. And we've got a couple people we're working with right now about coming on for 2 weeks from now for the show. And as usual, we're going to go out and try to get the best guests we can for you. That's going to give you some education and share some great ideas with you. And hopefully we'll have some really cool products that we'll show you as well. So anyway, hey, I know that our show was an hour and a half today. When it ran a little over, but Nathan had so many good things he wanted to share with us. And, the launch of that new cutie frame, oh my gosh. If you've ever thought about getting into quilting and the room was an issue, now it's no issue. I mean, you can actually put that portable frame on a table and stow it away underneath a bed. So that's the great thing about this, just setting on a tabletop frame like that. So it's going to open up the world to a lot of people that's always thought about it, but just never had the room. So if y'all are interested in that cutie frame, hey, give us a call. We have operators standing by right now that can answer questions for you. You can go on our website and go ahead and pre-order it. We're going to have a delivery, I think, in mid-February is what we're shooting for. And so, again, we want to thank everybody for joining the show today. And hopefully, if you were new, and we hoped you made some comments for new people, y'all welcome all of our new people that came on. And we have some of our standby, our usual people that are on here, our regulars. And we're glad that y'all came on board today as well. And again, guys, we're going to be here in 2 weeks. We'll be back. And if y'all have any questions, make sure you give us a call. or shoot us an email to info@SewingMachinesPlus.com. And again, hope y'all have a great day, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.